Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in this video I'm going to do a tier list for your favorite JRPG developers. Now this list is not every JRPG developer, these are just the most well-known ones. If you guys have any, please let me know in the comments down below. So the tier list is not that complicated. There is the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, C, D, and the one that's no experience. That means I've never really played a game from them, so I don't really know. So first on the list is Alphadream. So if you guys don't know, Alphadreams are the developers who make the Mario and Luigi games, well, the previous ones, and for that, mad respects, but sadly they actually filed for bankruptcy not that long ago, so there's that. Now the Mario and Luigi series is still ongoing. Now I did hear word that a lot of the people from Alphadream are working on the new Mario and Luigi, but that's just speculation. I have no proof, but I am going to put this company on the B tier, mainly because they made one of my favorite series, the Mario and Luigi series, so I have huge respects for that. Now I didn't put it in the A tier or S tier, mainly because they're not really making games anymore, so I can't really put them up high there. Now the next one is Ape. Ape is actually a company or developer I really don't have that much experience on. Now for some background, Apes are the developers who made Earthbound and the Mother series, so that's some good stuff right there, but that's about it for all I know and all I've played. I've only played Earthbound, so I don't really know what type of stuff Ape does. Ape became Creatures. Now Creatures is a development team that helps work with the Pokemon games, the earlier ones at least, and then they merged into the Pokemon company. So Ape is not really a working development team anymore. Now I'm going to put Ape in the D category, mostly because I'm not familiar with their games. They did Earthbound, which is good, but beyond that I do not know, and it doesn't seem like they made a lot of games either, so I'm pretty confident in putting it in the D category. Next one is a big one, and that is Atlus. Now I was debating on whether to put Atlus or Sega, mainly because Sega is big, but I decided to put Atlus because they make a lot more JRPGs than Sega does. And as of now, Atlus has really been kicking it to high gear, especially this year. They released Persona 3 Reloaded, they have Metaphor Brief Fantasio on the way. They did a lot of projects in this 1 year. Also, there's Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, so they're really on their A game. Now Atlus, I love their games mainly because they tackle a lot of topics not other, franchises like to tackle. And I feel like all of their games are really good quality games. They're well researched. People who are working on them seem to be really passionate about their project. I love the stuff Atlus is putting out nowadays. It's really nice. Though I will say the bad thing about Atlus is they have a very outdated business practice, especially when it comes to DLCs or lack of DLC, like Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is basically a final mix of Shin Megami Tensei 5, and while a lot of people do like the new content, a lot of people are mad because they have to buy the game again. And then there's a whole controversy with Persona 3 Reload and how they're handling the DLC, and they've been delivering a lot. So for that reason, I'm going to put Atlus S tier, mainly because of the quality of games and what games you're getting. There's not really a Atlus developed game that I don't really like, well, modern Atlus, so I'm comfortable putting them in the S tier. Alrighty, next one is Bandai Namco. Now Bandai Namco is an old company. You see their name everywhere, oddly enough. They made Scarlet Nexus, the Tales series, the God Ether, and Doc Hack series. So there's a lot of games that I know, but I'm not really interested in. Not saying that Bandai Namco is a bad company. I'm just saying like most of their games are not really my cup of tea. Maybe Tales, but that's about it. So I was gonna put it in the no experience category, but then I thought I do have experience playing one of their games, Tales of Arise, but they don't really have many games that I'm really interested in. So for that, I'm going to put it in the D category, D. Next on this list is very controversial, and that is Game Freak. Man, do I have a history with Game Freak. Anyways, the long story short, I am a big Pokemon fan, but I don't like Game Freak as a developer. They're very incompetent when it comes to making any modern Pokemon game. They did a good job in the 3DS and DS era, but ever since then, it's been down. It's been really downhill, and it feels like they don't really listen to the consumers or fans. They make so much money, but it's sad to see because they put no effort. It's really sad to see because you have these indie games doing all their stuff to make their game the best. They're making it polished to take years, while Game Freak is more like, let's see how it goes and get ready for the millions that we're gonna make, because people are still gonna buy Pokemon games, and that's the sad part. Now, Game Freak themselves not only worked on Pokemon, they did make this other game called Little Town Hero or something. I think that was the name, and it kind of flopped. A lot of people were like, oh, I'm interested in it, but then nobody really talks about it anymore. So they moved on from that, and now they're taking a little bit more time making Pokemon games, so hopefully that pans out better. Alright, so where am I going to put this dumpster truck? Okay, so I'm going to put Game Freak in the D category, mainly because I do love Pokemon and the games. My homie right there, Snorlax. Say hi, Snorlax. I don't really see Game Freak improving on the games. Now, there is the Arceus games, so there's that, and they announced the AZ game, The Legend of AZ, because I did really love Arceus, but I don't really see this company improving anytime soon, and that really makes me sad because I do love Pokemon. The next developer on this list is Gust. Now, I love Gust. Can you guess why? Can you guys guess why? They're the ones who developed the Atelier games, and Atelier is one of my favorite series, so yeah, I'm gonna put them into S category mainly because of that. Yeah, I'm a little biased, but they do make really good games. The only downside with Gus is they don't really invest into English voice actors, so all of the games are sub and not dub, and I feel like, especially in 2024, that shouldn't be a thing. Now, I have played their Blue Reflection game, and that one's pretty good. Now, the thing about Gus is you can really tell what game is a Gus game. Usually, they're more connected with Koei Tecmo as the publishers, but once you play a game, you can really pinpoint, yeah, it's a Gus game from the way their games look and the aesthetics behind it. Now, it is different between each game, but they have a lot of similarities. Maybe S tier is a little bit too much because I like one series, but I do enjoy Gus games. They're really cute. Next on the list is Intelligent Systems. I love Intelligent Systems. They're basically the people behind Fire Emblem games, Paper Mario, and Advance Wars, and many other. So I really do enjoy Intelligent System games, especially Fire Emblem. That's like their one good egg right there. So I'm gonna put Intelligent Systems in the A category simply because I do love their games, but it's not S because I'm not really hyped for any of their games in the future, well, that I know of, so I'm comfortable putting Intelligent Systems in the A tier. Alrighty, it is a level 5's time. Now, level 5 is a weird one. So essentially, they made the Ni no Kuni series along with Yokai Watch and Fantasy Life. Now, Fantasy Life is coming this year, I believe, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, level 5 is one of those developers that I think they stopped working on stuff for a few years and then they came back, and I forgot what showcase, but they showcased a lot of games that they plan to release in 2024 and 2025, so I'm really excited for that. Not all of them are JRPGs, but some of them are, so that's pretty interesting. Most games are very whimsical, fantasy life, and very cartoony style to them, so level 5 is good with that, especially when it comes to fantasy life, and I can't wait for that actually. Now, I'm gonna put them in the A tier, mostly because they have some good IPs on them, but not really a lot of them, but I am looking forward to all their releases in 2024 and 2025. Next on the list is Monolith Soft. Monolith Soft is kind of the golden child in developers when it comes to JRPGs, and that's for a reason. They have a really good reputation and they make a lot of good games too. Most importantly, they make Xenoblade. Yes, they are the people who make the Xenoblade Chronicles series, and I love the Xenoblade Chronicles series like a lot. They're very good games, and I don't know, Monolith Soft has some secret on the Switch or something because their games on the Switch can run really good. I don't know what magic hoohiki that they're doing, but hopefully they keep doing it because their games are just phenomenal. Now, the one downside about Monolith Soft is really, I don't like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's about it. So I don't know if that's a thing towards the developers. I mean, they made it, but I just don't like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, I'm looking forward to their next adventure. They've been been teasing a lot of stuff, and people don't know if it's a Xenoblade Chronicles game or something else, but it's looking very interesting. Now they get the S rank mainly because their lineup is very good, high quality games. I could tell that there's a lot of passion into them, and they have good stuff cooking for the future. Next game we have is Falcom. Now Falcom is a really old developer. They've been making games for a long time, and it's not really well known, but they do make a lot of games. You'll be surprised if you Google Falcom, you'll see a bunch of the games that they made. They're actually one of the oldest developers on this list, so they're like Grandpa Falcom up in here. Now their most notable stuff are the Tales games, the Tales of Cold Steel, Tales of Zero. All those games are Falcom. The Yeast games and a lot of different other series, but those are their main ones. So I'm gonna put Falcom in the I want to put them in the S tier, but I'll put them in the A tier. Now I put them in the A tier because they have a big catalog of games, and they've been making games since like a long time ago. They're a very established developer. The one downside I have is they don't really have games in mind going to the West. Some of their games have this outdated thing where it only publishes in Japan and never in the West. We are currently getting a lot of Trails games because they held off on putting it in the West for such a long time. So recently Daybreak came out, and the day Daybreak came out, they announced Daybreak 2. Now that's pretty wild because games take a while to make, but the thing is, they already had Daybreak 2 in Japan. So that's why we're getting like one game this year, one game next year, because they're just localizing them. And nowadays that could be a problem because there's fans all over the world. It's not just Japan anymore. Next one is Nipon Ichi Software, better known as NIS. Now NIS makes a lot of these anime-centric games like the Rhapsody games. They also make the Saiga series, so there's not really much I know about them. Alright, so for that reason I'm gonna put NIS in the B category, mainly because I don't really have much experience with NIS, but overall, if you're gonna get an NIS game, it's probably good quality. Alrighty, the next one is Ryu Ga Gotoku Studios. Now these people make the Yakuza games. Now I do love the Yakuza series. I really do. And for that, I'm putting it in the A category. Now, I didn't put it in the S tier because they only work on Yakuza games and nothing much, so I can't really put them in the S. Now, Yakuza Infinite Wealth did do really good, and I hear it's a very good game, and plus they work on Yakuza 0 and the other Yakuza games, which are really good. So they make really good quality games, so I'm comfortable putting it in the A tier. Now, Chunsoft makes a lot of visual novel games, but they do make some RPGs here and there. They're also the makers of one of my favorite series, and that is the Danganronpa series. And while Danganronpa is not a JRPG, it's still pretty good. And they also make the Mystery Dungeon games. Now, Mystery Dungeon is more popular with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but they do make a lot of them, which was pretty cool. I'm gonna put Chunsoft in the B category, mostly because I do love their games, but they don't really make a lot of JRPGs, so I can't really put any higher. Next on the list is the most renowned one, and that is Square Enix. Now, Square Enix is so popular that even people who are not really in the RPG or JRPG genre know what Square Enix is, because they make a lot of games and a lot of noteworthy games. Now, Square Enix is a very old company. I'm gonna put it in the S tier, but hear me out. Square Enix is a very old company, so think of Falcom as the grandpa. Square Enix is the dad, basically. Now, Square Enix makes a lot of the RPGs we know and love, like the iconic Final Fantasy, Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler. Man, they make so much games, I can't even remember one. Hold up. They also made Harvestella. They also created the Kingdom Hearts series, one of my favorite series. Basically, they make a lot of games. Now, the quality of the games vary from each series. Final Fantasy, of course, is getting the top treatment because that's their #1 moneymaker. So they have a ton of variety when it comes to games. That's why I'm putting it in S tier, because they make a ton of games. A lot of them are good quality. Last one on this list is VanillaWare. You could really tell a VanillaWare game because of the art style. It's very soft and pretty and just very cute. And they made 2 noteworthy games, and that is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, which is fantastic, and Unicorn Overlord, which is fantastic as well. I'm gonna put VanillaWare into the A category, mostly because I feel like there's a lot of potential when it comes to VanillaWare games, and I can't wait to see it, but I can't really put it into S tier, you know? That is it for the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think my tier list is good. Nothing too crazy. There was none in the C tier. I don't know why, I just went to D or A or B, but there's none in the C. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was my tier list for JRPG developers. Now, if I missed one, please let me know in the comments down below, and please tell me which one's your favorite and which ones are not. Please hit that like button if you like, and if you love my channel, would love to see more, then please hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. You can follow me on my socials in the description down below. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.